Hello, welcome back. Welcome. Here I'm going to explain to you lecture quiz number 2. And today we are joined with Booglet. So cute, right? The nose so big. Anyway, so let me just show you this. I knitted this the other day when I was on the MRT. Haha. Why is Booglet wearing this? Because the aircon very cold and my joke also very cold. Okay, anyway, so let's get started, alright? Lecture quiz 2. Okay, so there's too many questions, too many things to do. So I'm just going to show it to you via the Luminous quiz. Alright, so let's get started. Now, this is section 1, question 1 on the fundamentals of Excel formulae. Alright, this question is just asking which of these, if you use, will be correct. Yeah. Notice this one is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because if you're going to search for a particular phrase, alright, text phrase, then you need to put it in quotation marks. Okay, so this one will not work at all. Okay. All the FN don't have the quotation marks, don't work. In fact, this is a giveaway question. If you don't know whether it works or not, all you have to do was to just copy this into Microsoft Excel into the data set, and then you see if it works. Now, then you have all this E2, E48. Well, then the question is, if you go to cell E2 and E48, what are we trying to do here? We want to find out the F and B category. So just because you get answer doesn't actually mean it is correct, right? You need to see whether E2 and E48 actually says F and B. If it doesn't say F and B, then well, too bad, right? Okay, next question, section 2, right? What's this question asking? Let's use pivot tables to make a summary table of the distribution of letter grades by class. Alright, so all we need is just the class. Okay, so we will drag the letter grade into the columns box and the name into the values box. So very simple. Do this, create the pivot table. Okay, and then it says what? Letter grade into columns box. So the letter grade columns box, and then it says drag name into the values box. Okay, values box. Okay, so far we got this breakdown, right? But then the question is, what fields go into the row box? Now, how do we know what field goes into the row box? Because the question is asking summary table of the distribution of letter grades by class. So what do we have now? We have the distribution of letter grades, but right now is for all the classes in that level, right? So if I want to see the breakdown of the grades by class, then I just take the class and I drag it to the rows. Ta-da! So now I know class 1A has 83 people with A1, 38 with A2, and so on, right? Okay, next question. This is a continuation. Okay. If we are using pivot table to make a summary table of the distribution of letter grades by class, we've already dragged letter grade and okay, blah blah. Now let's pay attention to the name field in the values box. If you click the I button next to name, you can choose a variety of functions. Which function do we need to apply here? This is really a giveaway question. In fact, actually, name, right? All you want to do is count. It doesn't make sense to even find the sum or the minimum or the average. Okay, yeah. So this one is just a count lah. Okay, next one. Fill in the blanks. Okay. This just to make sure that you actually did the work lah. So class 1E for English. Okay. This one you need to use a slicer function, right? So how do you do the slicer function? First you open, then you go to pivot table, analyze, and then you click insert slicer, and then we want to go by subject. Okay, so in this variant question, there's a few variants lah. So different subjects. So class 1E English. So I want English, and then I want 1E. Then all you have to do is just type in all these numbers into here, like that. Okay. Next. Okay. By now you should be familiar. Blah blah blah. Okay. Yeah. So let's open this data set. Create a pivot tables to see the breakdown of passengers arriving to Singapore by year and by country. Wow, this is really giving you the answer already, yeah. So we'll drag the year into the rows box and the country of departure into the columns box. Here's the question: what should go into the values box? Okay, so year and country. Okay, we want to break down of passengers. Okay, so this is actual data. This is public data. So okay, let's download that. Okay, so we do the same thing, table, pivot table, year, and okay. Now if you start to see that it's too long, then you shouldn't put in the columns lah, right? So you can put in the rows, and then we run country of departure. Now how do I get the numbers over here? Okay, you should be looking at number of passengers. Okay, now should you be count? Now some of you get confused. You drag number of passengers, and then all you get is a count. Oh dear, right? So if you go to sum, then you will get the values. Now why do you get 12 every time you when you chose count? Because 1 year has 12 months. Tada, see 1961. So 12 months. So essentially what you have in the data here is every month of the year you get a report of how many people are going in lah. So that's why you get 12. But if you choose a sum, okay, so change the I to sum, now you actually get the total breakdown of the number of passengers entering into Singapore. Okay, so what values? Okay, so this one now you know already. Okay, so this question is, when did Singapore receive passengers flying in from France? So you go to the France. Where is the France? Okay, it's over here, right? When did we get passengers coming in? Okay, when did we get them coming in? 1986. There you go. We know that France started having direct flights into Singapore since 1986. Alright. Now, of course, I'm not going to go through the other variants because I just need to demonstrate one and you kind of know how to do the rest, right? Alright, section 7. Now, this question is asking, now that you've created the pivot table, alright, let's create a chart. So let's create the chart from the pivot table first. Okay, so you highlight everything first, then you go to insert, then chart, then you just draw a line. Ta-da! Ooh, lovely chart, right? Wow, so many colors, so nice. Okay, wow. Alright, so what's the question asking? On the extreme right of the graph, there's a sharp drop in the number of visitors to Singapore. Why is that the case? Is it because the data for the year is incomplete? There's not enough information to infer? There's a trade war between US and China? Singapore Airport did not win the Airport of the Year award? Or global economy is doing badly? So therefore, tourism is affected. So you look closely over here, okay, on the extreme right. The question is asking about the extreme right. So okay, we cannot see. Eyesight not good. So we zoom in some more. Okay, this is happening in 2019. So why is there a sharp drop in 2019? Well, all you have to do is just ask yourself lah, what year are we in now? 2019, right? 2019, the year hasn't even ended. Of course, we got incomplete data, right? In fact, you look at the spreadsheet. What's the last entry? June 2019. Oh, like that lah. So we're missing half a year of data. If we have the remaining half of the year, then the graph will be then we wouldn't be seeing a drop. Alright, okay. No, this is not really a troll question. This is actually get you thinking about the data. That was what the question is designed to do. Yeah, is if you just jump to conclusions, yeah, then there is bad data analysis lah, right? We don't want you to be jumping to conclusions. We want you to be actually analyzing the data and figuring out what's wrong. And things like this actually happens a lot, and this is why we get a lot of weird data analysis results. That's because we forget that the year hasn't even completed. And then we just jump to conclusion. You know, like your IPPT, your NAPFA test, standing broad jump. Some of you are very, very good at jumping to conclusion lah. Okay, next question. Talk a lot of nonsense. Okay, next one. Lecture 2.1. Okay, use the filter function. Okay, looking at the student's expenditure, which drink does the student drink the most? Orange juice, coffee, apple juice, tea, bubble tea. Okay, so let's open up that data set. Where is my data set? Lecture resources 1. Okay, so how do we do this? Sort, filter, then we know that it's under F and B, correct? So we can filter F and B. Okay, so many, right? Okay, so then the question is asking orange juice. So we can, from the description, we can search orange. Okay, now you look at the bottom left hand corner, it says 1 of 334 records found, so 1. So the fellow only bought orange juice once. Then you type apple juice, apple, once also. You type coffee, coffee is bought. Now be careful, because here we have coffee and coffee shop. So if you jump to the, if you say got 15, then you're wrong, right? So okay, so let's look over here. What pattern do we see? If you want to search for coffee, it's always coffee space then the @ sign, right? Okay, now we have filtered out the word coffee shop. So now we know coffee 12 times. Okay, what other drink do we have? Tea. Okay, let's do bubble tea first. Bubble tea, we have 9 times. Yeah, I'm relying on the bottom left hand corner. 9 times. And then we have tea. Okay, now if I don't want the bubble tea to get in the way, I can put the like this, because for my search, oh no, I can't do that. Why? Because bubble tea also has the same pattern. Never mind, no worries. We just know that tea happens once. And if you want bubble tea, how many times was bubble tea? Bubble tea was 9 times. Coffee was 12 times. So therefore, this student drinks coffee the most. Okay, next one. Blah blah. Okay, I taught you how to do VLOOKUP. Let's imagine that you're a TA. Okay, and then you need. Okay, now I'm actually giving you a real life experience of what it's like to chase students from the teacher's end. So every time if we need to check who didn't submit assignments, then we need to go to lu minus, okay, or last time it was IVLE, to go and generate the data. So we will have 2 different spreadsheets. One is the list of students, say a list of students like this, and then the other list will be this one, the one where you have the list of submitted. Now I don't know why the people at lu minus and design the system to be so stupid. It says here submitted, but actually this list only contains the list of people who submitted. So if you scroll down, there is no, right? There is no at all. It's either, it's all yes. It's everyone that has actually uploaded an assignment to turn it in. Yeah, this is the notorious question 9, right? Okay, question 9 is asking, which should be the column for your search key? Remember VLOOKUP, we need to search, right? Because, okay, how do you do VLOOKUP? VLOOKUP requires that there is a column of data that is that common to both. Now, you see that name and Usenet ID is actually common to both spreadsheets, right? Now, the question is, in general, okay, not just in this situation, but in general, where should you, which column should you use? Should you use the name or should you use the Usenet ID? Now, what's wrong with name? Some people have similar names, right? Like Tan Akao. There can be 5 Tan Akao. Or like Jonathan, got many Jonathans, right? In fact, you go and Google Jonathan Sim, there's a lot of Jonathan Sims, right? So there is a possibility of error. We don't know whether there are duplicates in this list. In fact, you shouldn't even care whether there are duplicates. The fact is that it is possible for people to have same names, and because of that they have the same names. If you're going to do the VLOOKUP, then you will have corruption in your VLOOKUP. Just because you get an answer doesn't mean your answer is correct. So how can we be safe and sure that our VLOOKUP is accurate? Use the Usenet ID, because every individual gets a unique Usenet ID. Yeah, even so, you have a Jonathan. Let's say you have a Jonathan Sim and another Jonathan Sim. These 2 Jonathan Sims will get different Usenet IDs. Even in NUS, last time I used to work in Provost office, I get one Usenet ID. Now I come to Department of Philosophy, I get another Usenet ID, right? Yeah, that's how it works. Usenet ID is a unique identifier, so we can VLOOKUP that way. Okay, so I've given you the answer for that already. Last one, who here didn't submit assignment? Okay, so let me demo to you, right? Now, if you scroll down, you will notice there's some data corruption, right? Properly speaking, what's happening is that when we download it from lu minus an Excel file, it's actually what is called a comma separated value file, right? So words are separated by commas, and then Excel will read it, and then every time it sees a comma, it knows when to break up. So like the first entry, right, Alicia Bennett, then N0 blah blah blah, right? So it's Alicia Bennett, comma, N00 comma, yes. Then Excel reads that and then breaks it into the different cells. There are some people whose name, like my name also on my IC, right, Sim Yao Huat, comma, Jonathan, right? So there are some people whose names have commas that will get corrupted in the process, like our friend here, Georgina Kim, right? Now, since all we need is just the Newsnet ID, you don't have to go through a lot of trouble to do the VLOOKUP. All you have to do, first of all, is to filter out the errors in the entries, which is these two, right? Then what you do, you just copy, paste the Newsnet ID over. And then, now we want to know who never submit, right? All you have to do is you do your VLOOKUP as per normal. So equals to VLOOKUP, and then column E, and then I just need to search the column B, 1 and 0. Why 1? I want to pull column 1 over, which is the Newsnet ID. Check. So who didn't submit? So you use the filter, click down, and then you choose the NA. So all these people with an NA, all these people are the ones that did not submit assignment. Ta-da! Problem solved. Okay, I hope you found that enlightening. Yeah, feel free to ask me questions if you have any more, alright? So that's all for today. Puglet says goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.